What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. Michigan State football has added two defensive transfers from the transfer portal at defensive tackle and defensive end, Tyler Gilison and Ru'Quan Buckley. And these are two positions of need for this team going forward. So let's just chat about those two guys coming into the roster and a little bit more about that defensive line room as a whole right now going forward to the rest of the summer. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. If you do like the content, consider hitting that subscribe button down below and drop a like if you like this video. But so let's just jump in. First off, Tyler Gilison, edge rusher from Cincinnati, commits to Michigan State. Definitely a position of need that the staff went out and addressed. Will be a redshirt sophomore coming in this fall. Didn't get a whole lot of action during his redshirt and redshirt freshman year there in Cincinnati. Now, he is the younger brother of former Michigan State tight end Trenton Gilison. 16 total tackles in his career. One, I believe, was during his true freshman year, and then 15 last year in his redshirt freshman year. Played some linebacker in high school, so he can play that stand-up rush end as well, adding some depth to that position that definitely needed some more bodies. There's a lot of upperclassmen at those positions right now, plus a lot of young, inexperienced in terms of college players at that position right now on Michigan State's roster. So adding another talented edge rusher to that group is a good get for the staff going forward. Also, Michigan State added Ru'Quan Buckley, who will help that defensive line on the interior. Definitely needed some help on that interior after Derek Harmon and Simeon Barrow transferred out. Will come in as a junior this fall after playing 2 seasons at Nebraska. 6'5", 300-pound defensive lineman will gladly take that in the defensive line room. Just looking to add more bulk up front, and definitely some snaps available up there. Is from Wyoming, Michigan. Went to high school near Grand Rapids over there. So a coming home of sorts. So now let's just briefly look over the defensive line room as a whole right now. The 6-year guys we have on the roster, Maverick Hansen and Quindarius Dunnigan, who's a transfer from Middle Tennessee State. Then you got Chris Bogle, and then both of those guys, Dunnigan and Bogle, both play edge. And then Daquan Dowse, transfer from Georgia Tech. So Dowse and Hansen will both play that defensive tackle position more than likely. You got 5th-year guy, Avery Dunn, playing edge. The sophomore class, Tyler Gilison, as we just discussed. Anthony Jones, transfer from Oregon and Indiana, who we briefly talked about last week, playing that edge position. Then you got James Schott and Ken Talley playing edge. Alex Van Sumeren, defensive tackle. Then Jalen Thompson playing edge as well, who saw a lot of spin towards the end of last season. Then you have freshman Kiki Burnett, who is an edge rusher coming in. Probably won't see any time this year or much time, really. More than likely will redshirt. So if I had to say what the staff might be addressing here the rest of this transfer portal cycle here in the summer, I'd say they'll be looking to add another defensive tackle in the fold, mainly for depth purposes, as we said. You know, right now, probably the starting defensive tackles, Maverick Hansen and Daquan Dowse. So you would love to add some more experience, especially because right now your backup defensive tackles would probably be Alex Van Sumeren, who has unfortunately struggled with some injuries throughout his career here at Michigan State. Was a really highly rated recruit when he was brought in a couple seasons ago. And then Ru'Quan Buckley as well would probably be a backup as well. So we'd just like to add another body there for the rotation. So I can see the staff going after another defensive tackle. You know, really this group, aside from a few guys, don't have a lot of playing experience, or starting experience especially, I should say. Overall, I think this has been a solid portal season overall for Jonathan Smith and the staff. And, you know, I've talked about last week a little bit about, you know, optimism about hopefully, you know, the staff would maybe be able to bring Jaden Mangum back. I haven't seen any updates really. I know he is visiting Ohio State on Monday, I believe, or he might be visiting them this weekend, and then he's visiting Nebraska early next week, and then I think he's visiting that school down the road next weekend. I thought he had already visited them, but it sounds like that's on the line, so the door does not really look open for Jaden Mangum to come back to East Lansing. Could be wrong, so I think the two biggest things is adding another defensive tackle and then adding someone else in the secondary. Maybe even 2 pieces. If you add another cornerback, I know they are going to be hosting another transfer quarterback this weekend. And then adding a safety. If I said if you don't bring back Jaden Mangum, you need to add a safety an experienced safety preferably, mainly just for depth purposes. And then another Spartan in the portal, Geno Vandemark. Seems like Alabama might be gaining some traction there. Haven't seen anything concrete. Does seem like there was a discussion about them being down to only a scholarship or two, and it being down between Geno Vandemark and another transfer linebacker. But who knows? Geno could be going up, as we said last episode, going back to team up with old offensive line coach and Chris Kapilovich down there. But I wouldn't be surprised if Oklahoma is still in that mix as well. As far as everyone else, Jaden's brother, Jaren Mangum, just committed to Minnesota a couple minutes here before recording here on Tuesday night. By Joe, also committed to Kansas today. But other than that, nothing else really of note for the Michigan State transfers or Michigan State transfers coming in. But so we'll keep an eye on that as the summer goes on and as the roster gets finalized before we get in the fall camp, obviously. But obviously, if we had any more guys, we'll jump on and break down that position group and, talk about the player if we get anyone else. I have a feeling we'll add 2 to 3 more guys, hopefully, during this summer before we get into fall camp. But high school recruiting will also pick up here, too, within the next month or so in June when official visits start. So we'll be here to talk about all that. But anyway, thank y'all for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out and go green.